council members. And there we are. Okay. I'll call the monthly meeting of the Plainview City Council to order. 6:32 p.m. Roll call. Bob is absent. Julie?
Here.
Pam?
Here.
Tyler?
Here.
Open Meetings Act posted on the east wall. Please rise to the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 2, approval of minutes from previous meetings.
I'll make a motion to approve the last meeting minutes.
Okay. Second.
Second.
Tyler?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 3, claims and payroll.
I didn't have any questions.
Anybody have questions?
I'll make a motion to approve claims and payroll.
Okay. Second. Okay. Julie?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Tyler? Motion carries. Reports manner. Christine? Sergeant Newman, police report. Hey,
Good evening.
good evening.
All right, you okay?
I'm pushing water,
All
yes.
right.
Thank you for your concern. Much appreciated. I know, right? I'm pushing water. I've been drinking 6 liters of water a day.
I know we're, July council meeting, we're talking here about June basically. 4th of July went really well. We had less complaints than we had in the past. I don't know if we had any coronavirus going on. There wasn't as many groups congregating together. So it was a good year. Any questions?
I know they lifted the ban about registering vehicles and that, but kind of put another one back on.
Maybe. And the August,
Yeah.
Okay, there's still a lot around town, so I expect the list to be really big in September if people aren't.
I have a feeling by September 1st, there will be a lot of vehicle stops.
Yeah.
Just a lot of the units around there won't register what they had.
Okay. I would just start making a list of those that are past due to follow up once that's been lifted. Hopefully it'll be lifted for good, but you never know.
Any other questions?
Okay, this month.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Jerry.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. Quick update on our workforce housing grant, that $500,000 for the fourplex. The DED has been working from home, and they are moving faster through the application process. So they've awarded 2 cycles of it for different, like, real low income projects and that. So our workforce one is next. They have said that we should know in the next 7 to 10 days. So fingers crossed. We really would like to do that. Lower Elkhorn NRD grant, this is that $22,500 grant we got to do $10,000 worth of playground equipment in shoulders and then the rest for band shell. Kurt worked really hard and got the state volleyball court put in, so we were able to submit the final reporting on that. They're going to be here next week to present the check to the city. Kurt will be in that Fisher Park board. If anyone else wants to be in it, let me know. We're thinking it's going to be Tuesday, but we don't have a time just yet.
Thanks for
Any
finishing that.
questions?
Thanks for finishing that.
I know. it
good money that
probably
we got
wasn't
back,
what you
right?
wanted to do.
I know, I mean, we were gonna let it go. If I remember right.
Yeah, we were gonna
So,
let the money go.
Awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Got snuck it through.
So.
Can you message me if you find it?
COVID-19, we're still working with our local businesses and area producers on the number of grants. It seems like every time we turn around, there's a new program out there. So we've been doing CFAP with the farmers. We've been doing producer grants on the stabilization from Nebraska Grow. Also Nebraska Grow, they had grants for business owners. So from middle of June up until the first part of July, they were doing businesses with 5 or more employees. We've got 92 businesses across the county. And then just yesterday, they reopened the program for business owners with 1 to 75 employees. So that's going to catch everyone else. So we've been really busy today working on that. They've got 14,000 openings for that one at $12,000 each, and that is a grant they don't have to pay back. So we're really pushing that one super hard. So if you know a business owner, let them know. All the information is out on our social media pages. New businesses. Been busy with COVID-19, so we've some new businesses here in town. Highway 20 Studio, hair studio opened up in Colette's old building. Dance Right along Highway 20 has opened. We've had some business transitions. We've got Brandon Myers purchasing Plainview 247, which you guys know because you approved those loans. And Plainview Family Medicine has moved into the Herkert building out of Healing Hands Chiropractic. So nice to see that happen. On the Disaster Housing Fund, this is the $500,000 that we received last year for flood. So we finally got the money from the state last month. We're actively working on applications across the county. Since we're so far removed from the flood, a lot of the homeowners have done their projects. So what we moved into now is disaster mitigation. So a lot of the communities, especially in Pierce and Osmond, have homeowners that have abandoned their homes because of the flood. This now allows us to buy that home, tear it down, and do some mitigation for the city. So if you haven't, and this does rural properties too, not just within the city limits. So if you know of something across Pierce County, we can help purchase that property and tear it down now. It has to have that flood damage. That has to be the reason why it's taken. It can't just be a nuisance property. Our downtown revitalization planning study, we've been working really closely with Confluence. They have completed the community engagement portion. We had quite a number of people participate using the interactive map online. They dropped a lot of suggestions. That was good. We had more activity on that than we did on the actual survey, so we kind of know it for the future. So we're just not going to go so well. Let's do something interactive. So they're going to be here Thursday to present their results to the DTR committee and all of their suggestions for the final draft of our DTR plan. But basically what our Plainview residents said is they're not interested in having trees put back in downtown. They're not interested in a major streetscape project. They would like to see some more greenery downtown, so maybe the solution there is hanging baskets on the light poles, even if they're fake, so we don't have to water them, but it's something. They're most interested in the facade updates. They've got more signage, updated signage for the businesses that haven't taken advantage of our sign program. They want to see some transparent window and door improvements. And they want to see businesses being open longer hours or on the weekends, which that one keeps coming up through all of the surveys we do. So sometime, I hope our business owners pay attention to that. On the chamber side, the Plainview Chamber did hire Krista Alder to be the new secretary. And I think our first activity next week is we have a ribbon cutting for Dance Right, July 24th at 10 a.m. There's
Meeting the day before that.
okay.
No, right after that.
Right after that, okay.
She'll be getting a notice out.
Pierce County Economic Development, because you paid to belong to Pierce County Economic Development, I will give you an update on what we're up to there too. We have some new businesses across the county as well. We have Rivet Roasters, LLC in Pierce. Kim Fogel, she roasts her own coffee. She has a location in the Pekin Pots building now. So from 7 to 10, she's open. You can grab coffee. You can pick up her specialty roast that she does herself. And then we're actually working on a coffee shop across the street, which will have a drive-thru. So we'll have 2 coffee shops down there. Mint Julep Boutique. This is Tiffany Neeson and Stephanie DeBoer. They went in with Cam Duhall from the Expressions Floral Building. Really cool boutique store. If you haven't checked it out yet, do. And we have Annette Alt and Tanner Balfour. They are State Farm Insurance, housed in Pierce, currently incubating in the Pierce Family Dental Building, but hoping to find a location for them soon. Also, our 3 interns we have this summer, you met 2 of them last month, Marie and Judith from UNL World Futures and Alex from UNL Extension. Maria and Judith are working on individual community promotions and a countywide promotion video. We dropped the first one yesterday. That was the one for Osmond. It's had about 8,000 views, lots of hits. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out on our social media page. They also created 3 community events for the community, or the county. We just did Osmond's last week. That was the celebration for the $1 million pool project. That was the trending story on News Channel Nebraska. We got it on the 6 o'clock news, so that was kind of fun. This weekend, we have a sidewalk chalk contest in Plainview. They partnered with the Plainview News. Brooke was nice enough to buy all the chalk, asked for the street to be closed, and he provided the prizes for all the prizes that each category. So it should be a really fun day, Saturday, 9 to 12:30. Come on out. We have 0 to 3 all the way up to adult, so anybody can compete in that. The third project they have a scavenger hunt for the community of Pierce also next Saturday. That'll be an online one. Additionally, they've been working on our digitally connected communities project with UNO and Purdue University. This is that $25,000 grant we got. So they've been utilizing Google and Google Maps to claim each business across the county on Google. And this is important because when we had Confluence here last month to look at our downtown, I sent them a list of all the businesses with all of the addresses, and guess what they couldn't find? Half the businesses and half the addresses didn't show up on Google. Our business owners primarily live on Facebook. They haven't gone Google. They don't have a website. So I asked the girls if they would go and just claim every business on Google. So basically the process for that is identifying every business, getting the address correct, getting an updated phone number, calling the business owners, asking them for the current hours, and linking any social media site they have to the Google listing. So now you can Google any business, and what you'll see is it'll come up with a map to where they are. So that was an easy kind of project, but time consuming. So very good that they were able to get it done though. And also important because it leads into our next project, which is shopwhereilive.com. Pierce County Economic Development has paid for this e-commerce website, and we are rolling it out in about 2 weeks. So we have room to feature 200 businesses across the county online. We can feature up to 100 products. It's basically going to look like Amazon. You have one shopping cart, but all of the businesses listed, you can shop from all of those businesses. You have one cart, make one payment, the business owner gets you the product. It's going to work really nice. Other communities have done it for a couple years with great results, especially during COVID-19 when you're online, you're open all the time. They have found a way to make it work for service businesses, for community groups selling raffles, t-shirts, even chambers selling memberships. So you'll see some flyers coming out. They're working on the social media promotion for that, but the site has been paid for and they're building it right now. They also developed their new logo. I put a sticker of that on your report so you can kind of look at it. So we incorporated the 3 colors of Plainview, Pierce, and Osmond. They kind of intersect. It just shows that we're stronger together and that we're united in what we do across the county. Alex is working on our new website that we just got last month. He's collecting detailed demographic information in every community, housing, education, tax, and utilities. This allows anyone moving into the community or interested in relocating their business to the county the ability to just have a one-stop shop. They're going to find everything they need right there. He's also creating a database of all of our vacant commercial properties and sites across the county. This includes all the relevant information that site selectors look for when they're looking to relocate. So pretty dry, but very important to have. Let's see. I think Project Cobra, that was the site we submitted outside of Plainview along Highway 20. It was a chemical company looking to have 10 to 15 full-time employees in rail access. We did find out last week that they have decided to go ahead with a location out of the state of Nebraska. So, but very nice that Larry Schaefer is willing to work with us on projects like that. The one thing that I did want to talk to you guys real quick, and just keep this in your mind because applications until November, but the Nebraska Department of Economic Development has released a new CDBG block grant for disaster recovery. This goes back to the flood. They've allocated $63.5 million for recovery. Basically what it'll do is that 25% match that the communities had to come up with for FEMA projects. I think the state of Nebraska paid for 12.5% and the communities paid for 12.5%. It's going to cover that expense that you had to put out there to do any FEMA projects, whether it was roads, infrastructure, what have you. So for the first time, they developed a grant that's actually reimbursable. And priority is being given to projects that are already done, which I think Courtney said most of ours are done. or are in the process of getting done, but also can identify a new project. If there's a new project that you'd like to tackle because of the flood, we haven't done it because FEMA dollars were tight or you didn't have the community funds, you can now do it with this. So basically you're going to get your money back. All we need to do is just identify the project and then write the grant, submit it by this fall. They haven't given us a deadline date yet, but how about 4 months? Just put it on your radar screen. And you have this little handout in the back of my report, and it tells you all about it. We can also tackle housing and risk management planning if you're interested in that, but basically the big one is getting reimbursed for all the FEMA money they spent. Questions?
Thanks. Kurt?
Alright. As me and Susan were talking, I got a volleyball court, we got the boundary lines left to put up, and that's it. We gotta put another coat of paint on the scout house, hopefully that'll be finished. We'll be shingling the park shed, they got shingles ordered, and we'll be here, so. Culverts, we still got a bunch of them put in, we'll be hopefully with the two-man crew, it's a little sketchy, so. We'll just be pouring concrete, a bunch of them bad spots around town, you know, a couple main valves and stuff that we did one today, and we've got a couple more to do. They're right in the flow line, everything runs right in them, fills them up. And you go try to shut them off, and it doesn't work. So. Nitrates on the red well, borderline. So I would assume, hopefully we can get NRD and JDO going on that other one after the COVID, but I don't know. We'll see what happens on the next quarter. So hopefully we find somewhere to put a new well in and get that going. So
The other wells are okay,
no,
other than the red, or the red one's the only good one
we got two right now, and we got one on borderline.
that are down.
Yeah, right. So
I mean, I think we missed the deadline for this year for Laura Elkhorn Energy.
they said they were gonna.
No, but
It was gonna be late, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We were talking.
we've already talked.
Yeah, we were talking in June and stuff, and then all this stuff come through, and
Write that up as flood damage and put it in on the FEMA grant.
Probably you might.
Push too much water down to the wells and they got too many nutrients.
yeah. Thinking that comes from a long time ago.
You don't have to tell them that.
And that's about it.
You want to do number 5 or is that Courtney?
Well, he's here.
Oh, he's here. Oh, hi. Sorry. You come all the way down from Sioux Falls?
No, I live just outside Omaha.
Oh, okay. Hey, Mike.
Appreciate you guys letting me talk for just well, I think I've got maybe an hour and a half.
Perfect.
I'll try to condense it down to about 3 minutes though.
Take as much time as you need.
Yep. So my name is Sean Ninger. I'm with a company called Suez. If anybody's been in the water business for a long time, you might know us as utility service. So I just wanted to come up, introduce myself, thank you guys for your business. And then also, you guys spend a sizable amount of money with us. And I know sometimes city councils turn over, so I just wanted to come up, briefly rehash our program. So I think we signed a contract in 2017. By show of hands, is there anybody that is new since then on the council? So, three out of you? Okay. So if you're not familiar with how our program works, we're a painting and maintenance provider of water towers. So you guys signed an agreement with us to renovate your tower, and then we assume 100% liability of any maintenance risk on your guys' water tower. And we come up every year, we do an inspection, or every 4 years we do a washout inspection. And then as part of your yearly fee, we cover any future renovations. So it really, you know, we like the program, obviously, but it provides a lot of peace of mind for municipalities who can take any type of risk associated with the water tower and transfer it onto us. Even, you know, if somebody shoots a bullet hole in your water tower, we pay for that. We fix it, we pay for it. Somebody sprays graffiti on your water tower, we pay for that, we fix it. The rules get changed from an OSHA standpoint, we pay for that. So you're deferring 100% of your maintenance risk over to us. The other part that usually most folks want to talk about is on page 9. And that's our schedule of service. So in 2018, we did a full renovation inside and outside of your guys' water tower. And then this year, we'll do a washout inspection and maintenance. And then we'll have 3 years of back-to-back visual inspections and then another washout. And in approximately 2028, we'll do another renovation. And the coating, the life of the coating, how well it holds up determines that. So that's not a hard number. So if your coatings, for whatever reason, start failing, let's say in 2023, then we paint it. So it's not a hard and fast date. It just, we allow the coatings to determine when we're going to rehabilitate. And that's a conversation that our operations people have with Kurt. You know, if he's not happy with the way that the tank is looking from a coating performance standpoint, then we work that out and we adjust the schedule accordingly. The other handout I left is, this is the inspection report. Kurt gets these every year. This one is from last year. We haven't done, the guys haven't reached out to you to schedule this year's washout.
No, we're gonna wait till it's late, because it's not gonna work right now.
Yeah.
With all the air, you know. Otherwise, yeah, we're gonna
Push it as far into the fall before it freezes.
Right.
Yeah. Yep, and that's traditionally what we see is we do a lot of them in the spring and a lot of them in the fall, and then in your hot months where your usage is up. It doesn't make sense to take your tank offline and have an empty tank, both from a usage standpoint and fire department standpoint. But again, you know, just wanted to come up again, say thank you, introduce myself, allow any new members if they had any questions, or, you know, again, I didn't want to spend, you know, too terrible much time. I know you guys are busy, you have a full docket tonight.
I remember McGuire's and Sioux Falls, that's what I was getting mixed up, so.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
our,
ones that build it, yeah.
yep. But yeah, we appreciate your guys' business. If there's anything we can do to,
I have a question. When do you renew that contract every how often?
it's
Or
a,
is it
it's,
signed once?
it's what's called a,
10-year contract.
10-year contract?
well, it's an evergreen. So it renews every year,
Okay.
and the city has the option of canceling it at any time. Now, there's some things with the upfront renovation and cost spreads that make it advantageous for you guys to stay on it for a while. But we really want to give the city the option. We can't change our price. We can't cancel it. Only the city can. So, I mean, a contract doesn't do any good if I can come back and tell you, oh yeah, my prices just went up 30%. I mean, we'd like to, but nobody would ever sign the contract.
Question? I did see when Mr. Holton was here, he showed me the video when you're the one that had the scuba divers in there, right?
No, we do not do divers.
Man, I'm really getting your company with some sort.
No, that's my fault, not yours.
But anyway, whoever was it before, maybe it was before you that inspected it, they actually had scuba divers in there today and had video of it.
Yeah.
And taking.
Yeah, so we don't do scuba divers. A couple different reasons. One, we don't think you can get a scuba diver clean enough to put in your drinking water.
There's some company that we had before that did.
No, there's a lot of communities out there.
Most of them use robots now.
Well,
Yeah.
that's good.
Camera.
Yeah, and that we do the ROV. The other, where you guys are set up for a washout every 4 years, what that allows us to do is get in there and actually see what's really going on, right? Rather than looking through the lens of 200,000 gallons of water or 100,000 gallons of water. Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you
Guys,
so much.
thank you very much.
Thanks for coming out.
Randy here? Randy! Mr. Randy, we would like to close the street for our scaled down cloud days for street dances and beer gardens on Friday and Saturday. With your approval.
I'll make a motion to grant the special destination license for Yankee Lane on August 7th at 3 p.m. and August 8th from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
How far south, or how far north does that run?
Does it go just to the telephone office?
You want me to come up and, yeah, it's just past the telephone
Just
offices.
past the, I don't know if you did.
Are you guys gonna have that subject to any directive health leaders if they're still in place? Because as of right now, beer gardens are not, still not allowed as far as I am aware. That may change in August, I don't know, but I mean, that's
Pending. Pending. So, that's it. Can we do that? Okay, let's do that.
Tommy? Ken?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Number 7, discussion action updates on nuisance properties, 406 North 4th Street.
I gave you, Brian,
Yep.
the past meeting minutes and what pictures I have.
Talking about the colossal hills, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that still has that pickup full of junk in the driveway. The backyard's been cleaned up some, but there's piles of junk now instead of strewn all over. We've done something, but it's still not.
On which one? I don't know. I haven't seen the pictures.
I don't think there's a picture for that. I think at the last meeting, it was, we discussed this last month too. So I didn't know if you guys had looked at any of those or not since last month. The first two listed there we talked about last month,
Yeah.
about revisiting them and seeing if they had anything done. So
Yeah, I drove around, looked at it yesterday morning.
Oh, done last night. I was done last night.
But that house on, I don't know, it's not, to me, it's not satisfactory.
I agree.
And I know we've been, in the past, we give people 30 more days to get it done as a final offer. And then I guess we have to clean it up. I don't know what the answer is.
Did we send a second letter in the past, or did we just, we haven't come in, did we?
you've already sent them a letter, so your next step would be basically a
For public hearing?
Yep.
I think we should do that.
Okay. Motion for a public hearing for 406 North 4th. Second,
I'll second it.
any discussion? Bob? Julie?
Aye.
Pam? Tyler?
Aye.
Okay. 212 North Flow?
I told you I would talk to Frederick.
Right.
He brought me, when I called him, a copy of his bill. He's hauled out, what, Courtney, 1,100 pounds of stuff and paid the dump fee. An entire trailer load, he said, of pallets in the backyard, and another trailer load of something else. And I showed him these pictures that were in the packet before. I haven't gone over there, but he said he's done a lot of mowing, he's got his string trimmer fixed, he's gonna do more string trimming. But between the rock and the hard place thing is that he talks to his daughter about a lot of the stuff that's hers. According to him, she's not speaking to him anymore. I mean, she won't do what he tells her either. He, in fact, a month ago, went up to renter's storage and rented an empty storage container and told her, clean up your stuff and put it in the storage container. But she won't talk to him about it. And nothing has happened. So I don't think there's any point in talking to Walt anymore. I mean, he's gonna do more mowing and more string trimming, but he's not gonna be able to just manhandle his daughter's property and throw it all away. I mean, somebody's gotta go talk to her and figure out what you're gonna do with her. Or tell her you're gonna find her or tell her something.
It does look a lot better.
He has done what he can outside and cleaned up a lot of stuff, I think. Years, keep in mind, the man is over 80.
Yeah, no, it does look
It looks
better.
like he weighs about 75 pounds.
The only other thing that I would
Doing the
like,
best he can, I think.
that I'd like to bring up is that tarp in front of the house, I believe was changed from a blue tarp to a green.
Well, he said I commented on that to him, that was one of the sore points. She was covering up stuff in the front
Is that all
porch.
it is?
And he said she took down some of it, but it's really just for shade. That's what she told him. And you'd have to walk right up to it to look over it to see what's in there. Well, that's probably true, but there's a lot of junk that's in there now.
To me, that's nice.
And that's what he'd like her to take, clean all that up and put it in the storage container. I was kind of nudging him that he should build her a garage and put a storage container on the property.
Yeah.
And then he brought up, well, I've already got her a storage container, I just can't get her to use it. So somebody's gotta deal with her. He's doing all he can. And he's gonna go back and do some more trimming and what have you, he didn't tell me.
He mowed down there today, I know, and trimmed.
He did a lot of that, and then he just fixed his string trimmer today, so he's going back tomorrow.
It looks
But
better.
he's trying, he's getting the outside straightened out some.
We're doing a good to send a letter to her.
I think definite directions to her of some kind, maybe got some teeth.
I think we
He's done everything
short a
he
letter,
can do.
because that's what
We
we
just call
do.
her.
We got a letter sent, when we sent one, but it came back to me, she never picked it up. So I sent a certified letter, since she's the renter, she still gets one. She did not pick it up, I got it back.
We have it delivered.
Yeah, you could have one of the officers just drive by and say,
Keep
here's
going
your
over
notice,
to
we're
see.
having a hearing. If you wanna have a hearing and call her in, I mean, that's really the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it looks good what he's doing. I agree. It's pretty nice.
Well, if you're gonna do a hearing, you're thinking you are gonna do a hearing for the Clausen deal? That was the plan.
Yeah, we voted on that. Yeah, send a letter.
Well, but
Or
you
just,
gotta set a time,
yeah.
call them in, and you could do them back to back,
Yeah.
half an hour apart. And tell her to come, but apparently you're gonna have to serve her personally with the notice.
Motion to do that?
I'll make a motion to have the 212 North Plum Street for a public hearing.
Second. Tyler?
Aye.
Pam? Julie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
305 North Fourth?
That one, the house needs to be torn down, it's right, no, sorry.
No.
Sorry, my bad, that's on the wrong one.
That's the one with the step behind, on the east side of that
Yep.
dead end alley. And I have not been back down that alley to look.
There, I think it's still there, but now there's weeds growing up. And honestly, I don't think anything's been done, but I couldn't swear to that. But it appears that not a whole lot's been done.
Motion to send a letter for a public hearing.
I'll make a motion to add that to the public hearing list.
Okay, second.
I'll second.
Bob,
Aye.
Julie, Pam, Tyler.
Aye.
306 North Fifth Street, that's the one that needs
Yes.
to be torn down.
That's Zeb's. right?
That's the, yep.
I talked to him on the phone, a couple weeks ago, and he told me that he's gonna be working on that. And then he also told me on the other house, it needs to go, or this is one that needs to go with the trees. Yeah, he told me he had a contractor come and look at it 4th of July weekend. And I said, that's great. And I told him that we're more than willing to work with him, but we need to see progress. And I drove by yesterday, there's been no progress, so it's all talk. It was all talk last fall. So I think the time is up. You can do a letter on that for a hearing.
Second.
I'll second it.
Julie,
Aye.
Pam, Tyler,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
511 East Pilcher. I thought that was much improved.
It looks
Greatly
good.
improved.
It does, yeah. Yeah.
Have you been by that one, Tyler? Across from Zion?
Yeah.
I think there was I had a picture.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, they've got
on that
it.
what it was.
It's full, but, yeah. I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, they did a lot of work.
Are you okay with that one to come off the list then? or?
I think so, yeah.
Why don't you make some kind of a record for Courtney in motion if that's deemed acceptable? or-
That's what I was just asking for.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
To come off the list, okay?
I'll
Second.
second it.
Okay, Tyler,
Aye.
Pam, Bob,
Aye.
Julie.
Aye.
Number 8, on the new properties, 306 North 6th Street. That'd be the other one with the
Yeah.
tree fork. Motion to send a letter? Because these are the ones that we have not sent letter. We just
Yeah,
have a
these
meeting.
two are the ones that were talked about at the last health board meeting.
I'll make a motion to send the letter to him.
Okay,
I'll
second.
second, Brian.
Okay, Bob,
Aye.
Julie,
Aye.
Pam,
Aye.
Tyler.
Aye.
Okay. And 207 North First. Crean, I went in your backyard with your permission, and I didn't actually look in the garage, but the report is that the trailer has been moved into the garage,
Correct.
still with flat tires full of trash.
Well, they put them up long enough to move it into the garage.
Yeah. So I don't know what kind of smell is coming out of the garage now, but
I try not to do that.
yeah,
They just move stuff around,
yeah.
and they're still driving their car that's unlicensed.
Without, more so the trailer full of trash
Right.
is our concern. But I don't know if anybody's actually went to look, but supposedly it's in the garage. You would have to just,
Well, I think
Peek in
we're
the window?
pushing the issue of, as long as the public can't see it, we can't do anything about it. Not
if a
good
smell
policy
starts
to go
emitting or
by.
animals start coming around.
Yeah, it's been rained on several times, and it was bad stuff put in the first place, why they
Right.
actually put it in there. So, to say that we can't see it doesn't solve the problem.
Right,
Doesn't take care of their property,
right,
or the neighborhood that we're living in.
correct.
So who is an authority to tell them, this is good, this is bad, this is what you should do? Who in authority can go to somebody's house and say, you gotta get rid of this pile of bad stuff in your yard? When apparently they don't see any need to do that. I had a guy tell me that he had a dump truck that he went around. He helped Suzanne Peterson. Anybody else? He said, I'll just load it up and we'll take it out to the truck for a charge for you on cleanup days.
Wow,
But I didn't know about that until after the fact.
sure. I know from Chief Yosten, and it's similar to that other case where he talked to the father of the tenant there. And he said that he had washed the hands of her, she had washed the hands of him, but, you know, he wouldn't even help her.
He's done a lot to help her, and there comes the issue when you have a person that cannot see their way to doing things that society says is right or wrong.
Right.
Who in authority can tell somebody what is right or wrong with their property? Do we know that?
That's the Board of Health.
That's the Board of Health.
Yeah, if it's a health
Process
hazard,
is
yeah.
about
So the board would be the ones to go talk to these people?
Which we recommend to the council, which now we're at the full council level.
So you're sitting here saying something should be done, but who talks? Who's gonna go over and talk to my neighbor and say, this is not good
If they
to happen?
approve a letter, the first step, or the next step would be a letter, and then they have to accept the letter.
Okay.
The health board meeting minutes from June said that if the trailer was not removed, this was on June 23rd, removed and emptied, that a letter would be sent to the owner.
Yeah.
That is it from the health
And
board
apparently
meeting.
the trailer is not moved, it's
It's been
moved
moved to the
moved from
garage,
outside
but
to
it hasn't been
inside, but it hasn't been in.
Yeah. So these other people that you've already sent the letter to, now you're gonna have a public hearing?
If,
So you as council are going to tell them?
yes, that's how we did with the Hanks house, which is in our custody now, that we have to tear down.
My point is that if they thought it was not, if a piece of garbage shouldn't be here, they apparently can't see their way of moving it. So how are you going to convince them? Is my question, I guess.
The health board is controlled by the chief of police and the mayor. And as far as I'm concerned, they're the ones responsible for everything getting done. In my opinion, is the police are the enforcers because they are the authority of the town.
It almost seems like with these kind of people, and I'm not trying to put them in a category, but I am, you need to go and say, you have to pick up this trash and put it in here and take it to the garbage.
Right.
Right,
Because to say you have to clean up isn't doing it.
Right, I agree.
right.
Yeah, the letters have to be more specific that you can
We still have to go through the
But
process.
this,
Yeah, I
this
understand.
property has not been sent a letter yet, so that's the first step.
Yeah.
If they don't follow the letter, then it comes back to the council, then you go into the public hearing. If they don't follow the public hearing, you go to a resolution. If they don't follow the resolution, the city takes over, bills them back for whatever they do, and that's how the nuisance property works. I mean, it's
Yeah.
all laid out, cut and dry in the code.
business of them having locked the stuff up or concealed it inside a structure complicates it a bit. Because then you're at the level of breaking and entering to go get the stuff. So that's something's gonna be dealt with if we get that far, but that does complicate it.
Have
Sorry,
you thought
question.
about
Oh,
hiring a
just-
social worker?
I know, there's a question in the back of the,
Hey, Courtney, you said that you sent a letter out back in June, correct?
no, that's when we had
No,
the
that's when
public
health board met.
health board meeting.
Okay,
The health board met in June, and their recommendation was if this was not taken care of, it would go to the council to
to
recommend
move
sending
and
a letter.
clean the trailer.
Yep, they were
So the
going
wording
to,
was move and clean?
no, it was in the health board minutes, it was decided to have Chief Yostin check the property at the end of the week. If the trailer was not removed and emptied, a letter would be sent to the owner.
Removed and emptied.
Yep,
The
yep.
key there was the empty
Empty,
part.
yep, yep.
So in my opinion and what I know about this, couldn't you, based on the fact they just moved it into their building and they didn't do anything with it, they're in violation at that point
Right,
Correct.
of the initial letter?
Yes.
So the next step.
but the health board only recommends to the full council to send the letter. Yeah, the health board doesn't send the letter.
Right.
So we should send
I'll make a motion to send the letter.
Business closed. Bob? Julie? Okay. Okay, number 9, discussion action, zoning board recommendations for building permits. So again, the zoning board recommends to the full council whether or not to approve or deny a building permit. with our new system in place. First one is 507 North Third for a fence.
Anybody have anything? I'll make a motion to approve the zoning board recommendation of 507 North Third Street for a fence.
Okay, second.
Second that.
Okay, Pam? Julie?
Aye.
Bob? Tyler?
Aye.
Next one is 302 North Second for a fence, and it's Mr. Cook out here in the audience. Do you have any questions for him?
I'll make a motion to approve the 302 North Second Street fence.
Okay, second.
I'll second.
Discussion? Pam?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Okay. 101 South Pine for a fence.
The only thing I saw on this is that it's for 4-foot privacy fence for dogs. If they have dangerous
No,
dogs.
they don't.
It's not, okay.
Bruce, I know you brought up at one time something about the owners have kind of got to sign it, or the landlord.
If it's building permit, whoever owns
Oh,
the property needs to be on.
Yeah.
They're building something, it can't just be the tenant.
Is that the case? Is that the case?
Mary Ann is the
Oh,
owner.
okay,
Yep, Mary Ann's
okay.
the owner.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I just seen rental property.
Yep, originally the owners that, or the renters that filled it out, I had Mary Ann come in and fill it out.
Awesome.
So, yep.
Wait a second, right?
Oh, I'll second.
Okay, never
I
mind.
didn't know who made the motion.
Never mind, I'm sorry, we're still having discussion. See?
I'll make a motion to approve the 101 South Pine fence.
Second.
I'll second that.
Any other further discussion? Bob?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Pam? Tyler?
Aye.
They don't pay them.
No, they don't
until
pay
they're
until they get it.
Yep.
Okay, 102 North 7th Street for a storage building. And that one was initially, I don't want to say denied, but went back because of the property easement, so they have a neighbor and they pay the dollar, so.
I think that's a great agreement.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty,
I'll make a motion to approve the 102 North 7th Street for the storage building.
Second. Tyler?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Pam? Okay, 511 East Pilcher, that's the third time for that, and that's the one that you just removed from the cleanup properties.
The only thing that I see with this is that the owner of the home is supposed to sign this.
It's on the land contract, so I don't know. Is Dean Boyer
They
technically-
actually own the lot where they're putting the fence.
Okay,
If you look at the assessor's website, they own the lot where they're putting that
and
fence.
there's more than one lot in the house, you know.
There's 2 lots there.
Okay,
Is this still not paid for?
What?
Is this still not paid?
Nobody's permits
No.
are paid until you guys finally approve them. Yep.
But they're still putting a house, fence around the house.
No, behind
No,
it.
just
Just
around
on the
the
lot
side.
behind it.
Oh, because, okay, so just this in here,
Yep.
because I see the fence going this way.
Yeah.
I think there's more than one, because there's between the house and where the alley is, like the church property, that's another lot then?
No,
Because they got
if you look behind their house on the assessor's website, where they're putting that fence is,
It's
there's
right on-
literally 2
Church
lots.
sold
of it.
them the property.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
church
right.
sold them
That's
that.
3 years ago.
Yep.
I forgot about that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Second.
A motion.
Okay, I heard you say, yep. Any further discussion? Bob? Julie?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
The next one is a rural, but it's within the 1 mile extraterritorial jurisdiction, or ETJ. And it's for a house.
It's just for your guys' knowledge, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
we have to send it to the county doesn't issue them the building permit, so we have to do it, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the house.
Okay, second.
Second that.
Pam? Bob? Tyler?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
308 North Third for a fence and a porch. She had one fence and took it down as replacing with a different fence. Oh, yeah, it's in the new one. They just had a meeting last night, yeah.
Catch.
I'll give you some time to look at that.
What are we doing? All the garage behind you, now new fence across the street from you?
A lot of buildings.
I guess.
Right across the alley,
Yeah,
across the parking lot.
yeah, that one too.
You can build either.
You'll be up here next month.
If nobody sees any problems with it, I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay, second.
I'll second.
Still okay, Bob?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
107 South First for a fence.
And Tony owns that house.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve Tony's building permit.
Okay, second.
I'll second that.
Okay, Bob?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Okay, 710 West Park for a garage. That'd be in the alley kind of down from the fire hall.
See any issues with that? I'll make a motion.
Okay, second.
I'll second it.
Pam? Tyler?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And 201 North Main for a garage and deck.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Okay, second.
I'll second.
Okay, Bob?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye. Number 10, discussion,
Hold on, Ryan.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I did notice one fence go up in town that I didn't see come through the building permits. Looks very nice, so I don't wanna,
Right,
but what do you do there?
Where's that at?
Two-story house, north. I can't think of names. Did it go through?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
On Lincoln, where Salzers used to live?
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah,
We did that one last
yeah, we
time.
did a couple of them.
Okay. I don't
They're the
wanna do
ones
that.
that,
We just
how the
followed that
business
one.
that Susan
Yeah.
tried to
Oh, it
make
looks
up
nice.
the office space.
I just don't know what I was doing. Okay.
We did.
Yep. I thought two would look really nice. But yeah, they're the ones that had the business that we tried to get, maybe Susan got them into Osmond because we didn't have to.
Good.
Number 10, discussion estimated paving costs for North 6 between Pilchard and Woodland. This was just a guess.
Yep,
like a
I
guesstimate.
emailed Gary and he just, without even coming to look at it, said basically 175 for that block. Obviously that's gonna be broke down by, per property owner, what their footage is, but that kind of gives them an idea what it's gonna cost. And I can get them more information because if we're gonna pay that, probably have to go to a district, go that route, so you can assess them back if that's what they wanna do for pavement. But that gives you an idea kind of what, that block's a little bit wider than Euclid was, so he said that's why it costs a little bit more, but. So I'll get more information for them, but
Okay.
that gives you an idea as to kind of what that's gonna look like.
You email them or just send them
So, I'll get more information from Gary, but he just kind of gave me a
Right.
ballpark figure, so that kind of gives you a starting point as to where that's.
175,000.
Yep.
Okay. Was there going to need to be any engineering or anything on that to make
Yeah.
sure that
Yeah.
it drains properly?
Yeah, they'll come up and look at it. He just basically Google mapped it and looked at, the footage of it and stuff, but they haven't come up and done any engineering on it of any sort, so that'll add into the cost a little bit too, and depending on drainage and stuff, that'll, that might up your cost a little bit, but that's just a rough estimate for you, so you kind of have a ballpark figure of what it is, so.
But maybe concrete will go down, you never know. Wishful thinking. Number 11, discussion, action, approval of post-prom activities outside school facilities, July 24th from 11:30 p.m. to 3 a.m.
Yes, you guys.
You'd be able to hear Christine.
I'm pretty sure you'll be able to hear me, no problem. But we're looking to close down the streets between the school from 11:30 to 3 on the 24th to do post-prom activities. We've got inflatables coming and laser tag coming outside. They're not letting us in the gyms, so we were going to try and use the multi-purpose room at the elementary and put it outside is what we're trying to do. So, and ask if, we have noise, I don't know if you guys have noise ordinance or not that we'd be in violation of or anything, but just asking if we can do that. So, but.
Any discussion?
It would be a small concern, but I don't see it being a reason to.
You'd have to ask the neighbor, you have
I was gonna say,
any concern? You're the closest to the property,
Friday the 24th.
I mean,
from 11 at night to 3 in the morning.
it's one night for the
Since
kids.
it's Christine, I'll wake up.
It's all for the kids, right, Shelley?
Thank you.
Yeah, Shelley's the closest neighbor that we're
One
going to have.
night.
It's one night.
Thank you.
Great.
Well, and I know, Tricia, too.
She'd be the second closest neighbor here. I don't even know if I worked that night, but I'm around the corner, so.
Well, I'll make a motion then to shut down the street from 11:30 p.m. to 3 a.m.
Second,
I'll second that.
any other discussion? Bob?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Number 12, discussion action approval for street closure on Locust for the sidewalk chalk contest from 9 a.m. to noon.
That was a request from Brooke.
Yep.
Brooke, when you left, so I think he's supposed to close that down, so when people are drawing chalk, nobody's
Get run over.
driving through there, so.
That would make sense.
Well, I just had to talk about it yesterday. So the original thought was that they'd do the sidewalks. Brooke wants them to do it on the street. So. He said his sidewalks are in two.
Is it just in front of like his bit, like from like
It'd
the
be
one block?
from his business all the way to,
like Steinkrauss's or that corner?
no, I think it was going down the street.
The other way, like
Yeah.
towards D&K or?
Towards home health. I think.
Home health, I think between home health and then where Brooke's at,
Okay.
just block that. He's gonna sometime go out there and draw squares. It has a.
Oh, he's
Oh, there
yeah,
it is.
that's where that- Oh!
Hey, what do you want blocked
What,
off?
sorry, you want blocked off then?
What?
Your
What
street.
part of the street do you want blocked off?
I would like to do the south half of Locust right in front of my place. I'm going to put a car on either end so nobody can drive in that lane, and then hopefully some cones in the middle. We do it on the sidewalk, but my sidewalk is all bumpy and stupid.
So
So
basically, the eastbound lane closed, westbound lane open.
sure.
No.
I can't
Why don't you just do the whole street?
Okay.
That would be safe, right?
Can we do something better than cars? Do we have like?
Yeah.
We got barricades, yeah.
Okay.
So between Main and,
Put balloons on the barricades.
so between Main and Elm, the 500 block of Locust.
Absolutely. Yes. 500 block. That's it. Yep.
Any further
I
discussion?
make that motion.
Okay, second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Bob?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Pam? Tyler?
Aye.
Kurt?
Thank you. Come down and draw. We got. Take my money.
There you go.
Cash prizes.
Number 13, discussion action request for stop signs east-west at intersection King and Ash, which would be 1 block south of the city offices.
They're
Kind of down
not-
by Rogers Repair.
Yeah, they're not here. They said they were gonna come, so we don't know.
You know,
I brought you a form resolution,
Yeah.
but you know, it's only 7 words long. so I
Right.
didn't bring a handout.
right.
I mean, just stop signs at that intersection for east-west traffic.
Is it one of the neighbors requested?
Yeah. I told her probably out north-south because that goes right by where the guys drive when they dump snow and everything else, so for them to have to stop every time they're gonna dump snow would be, so.
Looking at that location, it seems unlikely there's a lot of traffic. I suppose if it was my kid, I would want people to go slow, but that's the whole point, is they've got little kids.
That's an intersection that
Line
traditionally,
intersection there,
Yeah, it's
with
kind of a bad
everything on the streets
intersection.
and everything
I'd
else.
say that's the one that traditionally floods and does not drain very well. And then where Mr. Holt lives, he only got a block. I mean, if you're coming from the east to get up speed, that's- obviously somebody requested it, but they're not here, so you can approve it or table it till next month and see if they show up. Whatever your decision.
Sure.
It's, there's a lot of stuff sitting on the street, yeah, that's the reason you need stop signs, so.
A lot of vehicles parked on the street, trailers.
It's getting pretty close to just having stop signs at every intersection.
Yeah, I was gonna
everywhere.
say,
It
do
could
you
just
have,
pass
do you have
that.
any left?
Might
Yes,
have to order
it's in
them.
a DCR plan, we're proposing a few more stop signs and crosswalks. So there is more.
Making
I'll
that
make the motion.
to approve the stop sign.
The stop sign. Yes.
Okay, second.
One second.
Any discussion? Pam? Julie?
You're saying there's nothing against it.
Bob?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
Number 14, discussion possible future action on PCSI building. Apparently, as we discussed earlier, it's not quite the clear-cut title that was,
Yeah, Courtney gave you the whole package, including the blow-by-blow of all the correspondence I sent back to the title company. We called in the order, well, sent them a fax, which I normally do, and they didn't seem to me to catch everything that was there, and then they left off lot 8. So as you can see, I wrote them back and said, no, really, we want both those lots, and we want to know what's going on with all of them. Please check again for these taxes. And then she finally came back with the title commitment as you saw it. And that's the only way to get them to
that's
really do a comprehensive search. Yeah, it's a bunch of stuff.
it was very interesting
All my
reading last night.
correspondence. But I called them once and wrote them a fairly detailed set of questions the second time, and finally, I think they got it all. But Pinnacle, if you recognize, if you tried to read through the stuff, owns the one building. There's a bunch of tax liens on that. The Pinnacle was dissolved in 2013. So she says, blithely enough, get a deed from Pinnacle. Well, that's not quite as easy to do as it is to say. And, you know, you would have to chase down the reinstatement of Pinnacle to get that done. And then you would have to do something on the Lot 8, which involves Joe Groff and that Blanchard, who used to be his partner. I think it kind of brings me back to the issue that it's not a practical solution. Nothing is a practical solution. But a quiet title action in the district court where you name everybody and sue everybody and have the district judge say, here you go, is probably the way. I sort of had that authority for 6 months. We've talked about it before. And if you want me to farm it off to somebody else, we certainly could do that. You can get it done. I am having a hard time getting all the city stuff done that I have.
Right.
I mean, we can still do that. The point right now is it's not as clean as it was represented to be. It's still a really big mess. So title, a deed from Joe Groff would be kind of the same as nothing. I mean, you wouldn't have anything you could sell to anybody or do anything with. You either need to fix Pinnacle, chase all those tax liens. Those tax liens aren't going away. I don't think there's any way to fix them without just doing a quiet title action. The IRS used to have 380,000 in tax liens or something filed on the property, but they let a bunch of them expire. But a few of them have not, and they're still there. They kept them up. So there's no clear title out there without quiet title action. I mean, the way to get it done quick, if you want something done, I kind of hate to say I would get it all done promptly, but I could find somebody that would, that's got time on their hands and would go right after this and do a quiet title action and name everybody. I mean, you're probably going to run, I would guess, significantly more expense than I would run, but we'd have to find somebody and talk to them and hire them. They go at it hard and really research all of those people and all of those problems and get everybody notified. Eventually, you'll get a district court order that says sell the darn thing, and they'll get clear title. And then the district court will divvy up the money to whoever's got it coming. And that's what cleans it up. Of course, none of them will get paid, but they'll be gone at least.
But as long as it's set empty, as much as we're trying to clean up the town to improve it, we gotta. I don't think we got the afford to spend money to make money, but.
Well, I could certainly find somebody that would get after it.
Any idea what that would cost?
Well, we'd have to ask whoever you're gonna hire. I would give it a hearty guess that you'll run $2,500 to $5,000 by the hour or something like that.
So do those two guys no longer own the building? Is that the deal? Because of the tax lien, or what's the deal?
Pinnacle owns it, owns lot 7. And Joe Groff and Paul Blanchard own lot 8. They currently hold the title, subject to all these other problems. I mean, she doesn't say that the liens are filed on lot 8. So in theory, Blanchard and Groff could sell lot 8, the vacant lot behind the building. And that would be fairly clean, but if you're gonna do it, I would think you do it all together and get it all at once. And they own the building through Pinnacle, but it's just a disaster from the standpoint of the corporation is dissolved, there's all these liens, there's all these other problems, as it has been for quite a long time.
So
I don't see any point in reinstating the corporation
is a
because you
disaster.
don't get there.
You can't
So
sell
are we-
that building, it's
so-
a tear down.
That's a tear down, I'm
And
sure.
who's gonna pay for
Think the
that?
Pinnacle
I was gonna
building is
say,
You're gonna
not-
pay for the lawyer fees and pay to tear it down?
That's
What's
just-
the
I think
advantage?
talking big money. That's big money.
It is a lot of money.
He doesn't
It's
want
like
to
10
do
grand
it.
to probably tear it down.
Yeah, take that.
So, Bruce, would we be trying to get the title so we could tear it down? Is that our goal? Is that what we have?
Well, if you think it's a tear down rather than a salvage, I guess I was on the
The
theory
basement has
that the
been
thing
flooded
could
for
be.
years and years.
Could be worked
It's
on.
got mold, I mean, there's nothing salvageable there.
Yeah,
We tried to show it one time and couldn't even get in
If
it.
that's the case, then let's go the Board of Health route,
We'd be the owners.
condemn it for cleanup, and tear it down.
Yeah, that's what I had in mind.
Then the city,
But then you still gotta get the quick, or,
well, then the city has the tear down lien, but that's relatively clean and simple. And if nothing happens, we foreclose the tear down lien and get the title, and all the rest of this stuff goes away.
You only gonna
It's
get
a
that
simpler-
lot 7, right?
Well, you'd want both of them, I
Right.
would think you're gonna do it.
Get the one on the
Yeah.
building. Right.
Her
Yeah.
lien builder wants that lot 8. I mean, he'd buy it.
Was
Well-
that Susan?
Berkeley, you know, there's been interested in lot 8 for quite some time.
Well, put him in touch with Groff and have him buy it.
Buy the whole thing.
But do we want it?
Well, that's a separate question.
That's a
But,
question.
I think they can sell that, but the
Yeah.
building, if we don't think it's salvageable.
I guess my
then
concern is
go
that the
with
city wants to
tear
get
down.
involved in that, you know, you're gonna be the ones tearing it down, and that's not cheap.
I want it right money. I mean,
I think it's terrible. I don't know what we did.
The only thing I want to see is it cleaned up so that a new business can be built there.
Yeah,
It's not that big a lot. I mean, it's a nice location, yes, but it's not that big a lot, unless it went with lot 8.
Right,
But we have no control over lot 8.
correct.
So you're gonna spend all this money to try and get this building that's a tear down, and then hope and pray that someone wants to build a building there.
That's only what
It's a lot of
probably a
houses.
60-footer, 60-foot
It's just
lot.
narrow.
well, then you just do the nuisance cleanup and tear it down. At least it's clean.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have clear title if you foreclose the tear down.
Please don't take the tear down of my budget, please.
Well, that's one of those things that there's no win. If it's valueless and it's shot, it's not good. But perhaps the thing to do would be to start the Board of Health proceeding,
Which we did.
look
one
at it
time.
as a nuisance.
Yep, it was on before, but they didn't deem it a nuisance.
What happens to all the tax liens on it? Let's just say in a perfect world, the city acquires property, we tear it down. What happens to those tax liens? Where do they go?
The city would have a lien behind the tax liens for the tear down. Tax liens are already there. You can't get in front of
They
them.
wouldn't be reassigned to the city though.
And, no, not at that point. But then if you foreclose, you'd have to name all those folks and take them out, and the court would divvy up the money. There wouldn't be any money.
Right.
The city would never see any money, but you would get it done. And the nuisance tear down lien is simpler and cleaner than a quiet title action, for sure.
To the health board.
I think that'd be your route. You want to put the pressure on. You know, one other thing that's out there is you have this other new ordinance of
The vacant
if you have
registry.
vacant buildings, we're gonna charge you $200 a month forever. But the problem here is you don't have anybody to collect that. I mean, it's, can't get blood out of a turnip problem.
Absolutely.
So just tearing the thing down is probably the next best step.
Number 15, discussion action approval to refinance this library's general obligation bonds.
When I was talking to Emeritus, kind of dissolved basically and went to this Piper Jeffrey, which is who will handle our bonds from now on. He was looking at what we have out there now. Our library bonds are through 2035, I think, is when they get called. We're at 3.38% interest right now, and he could drop that to 2. So over the course of the bond, you're gonna save $47,000 basically. I told him I'd just bring it to you guys if it's something you wanna do. There'd be an ordinance next month, and then you would refinance those. I mean, it's kind of, to me, kind of a no-brainer just to drop that interest rate.
And if you do this, you know, they sell new bonds, they take in enough money to pay themselves and pay off the old bonds, and then you just have the new schedule. Pretty hard to argue against it.
Yeah.
You can't do it indefinitely, because you can only get so low on the interest to make it work, but here it works.
So, I mean, if you guys wanna go ahead and do that, I'll let him know, and then we can have it ready for August meeting to get that refinanced.
Okay, number 16, discussion action for the lead-based inspections for a total of $1,000 for the 2. The lead-based inspection, there's 2 houses that they inspected. It's a total of $1,000. Yeah, lead-based paint.
You guys approved that housing grant last month. the new housing grant
For
that they put
somebody to
into
fix up the
effect.
house.
So this is just part of that cost that's associated with it. And that comes out of the housing accounts, it doesn't come out of the general, so it comes out of the housing reuse funds.
On the commission to approve that.
Second,
I'll second that.
any discussion? Bob? Aye. Pam?
Aye.
Tyler?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Number 17, discussion action, changes to ordinance on fireworks hours in city limits.
Okay, yeah, I know this isn't a subject that's gonna make or break Plainview, but, I was informed a couple weeks ago when I was shooting fireworks off with the kids that, we've got 10 o'clock curfew, and I always thought it was 11, but I was wrong and apologize for that. But anyway, I thought, well, can we compromise and go to 10:30? Most people know that this time of year, the sun doesn't set till 9:45. And if you are fireworks enthusiastic, like our family is, that doesn't give you much time. So I just thought a compromise to 10:30. A lot of people are still up watching the news yet, so. And I mean, I'm a working man too. I gotta get up the next morning too and go to work. So just a compromise instead of 10 o'clock, go to 10:30.
This was the first year with the new hours. It just got changed last year.
Okay,
So I
yeah.
thought it was 11 last year.
It was.
Yeah.
This got changed in 18.
All right.
All right. I thought it was the first year, maybe it was the
But, I mean, yeah, I was informed, and apparently nobody else knew either, because there was fireworks going off all around me when I was told this, so.
The code book is on the 4th, 8 to 12, other than the 4th,
Noon to 10.
noon to 10.
Yep,
That's current.
that's the current
The new
code.
packet of stuff you just gave me.
Nothing,
doesn't have
none of that
anything
changed,
on
no.
fireworks. This is getting
Yeah,
it now.
We'd like to leave the 4th of July night the way it is, I guess, but.
8 a.m. to midnight is what it says on the 4th.
And I remind you, it's just for 10 days, it's not year round, so.
So the 4th stays the same, and you're thinking just move the daily to 10:30 p.m.?
And why is July 5th still on there too? I mean,
That's what they passed when they redid the ordinance in 2018. If you guys want to take that off, you are certainly welcome to.
Can't they do if the 5th falls on a weekend, then usually,
It was really confusing before. If the 4th was on like Friday or Saturday, they gave you the 5th, but it wasn't really clear cut in the code before, so they just put the 5th in there.
Total rain hour or something
Yeah.
like that on the 4th.
That did happen one year.
So they just decided when they redid this to just put the 5th in there and be done with it, then there was no confusion. If it was on the weekend or during the week, you still got the 5th, so.
So all other days noon to 10:30 is your request?
yeah.
I'll make a motion to change it to 10:30.
Can we do it like the other one? I just had a quick on like on the library bond, because we didn't have the ordinance, so can we do that without it, or are we just modifying it?
Well, library bond, you're telling them to bring it next week.
Right. But I mean, this one we can vote on
this
tonight.
thing, we normally don't do an ordinance unless you got the ordinance in front of you. I
Gotcha.
can bring it next month, not a hurry now. It's a little iffy to pass an ordinance and we don't even have one.
Well, you're just changing the one from 10 p.m. to 10:30.
Yeah, but you still have to
but
update
you're
it.
still
Right,
amending your-
right.
Bring it next month.
Okay,
Bring it next month.
that's what I'm not, yeah, I just want to make sure. We're gonna vote on it next month. Okay. Thank you for bringing that to attention. Number 18, discussion, action, approval, community development block grant funds, downtown revitalization grant, $1,395 and $7,800.
These came in late on Friday from Lowell. I think I gave them to you guys tonight, didn't I? Or not?
I didn't see
Yes, if you want that one.
Maybe I didn't. Maybe I forgot.
I don't think I have it.
They are just to get the DTR going. They're the invoices that were sent from DED for the project costs for Confluence, and then their general grant administration.
This is part of the $10,000 match. We had to set up for that $50,000 grant we got. You said we pull that out.
I have them if you guys want to look at them. Sorry. He sent them
I don't
literally
wanna
Friday
see.
at like 3, and I was like, okay, thanks.
I want to see
Told
what
Corey
to
to
do
get used
with
to it.
it.
That's how it was. In his hands.
I'm like,
So they're
I'm not
they're
gonna go
drawdowns that the state,
Oh.
when they do those, they send drawdowns like that when you do grants. And the mayor has to sign off on it, I have to sign off on it. We keep a copy the whole time we have that. I mean, it's in a book with the grant, so you did the same thing with the library when you did your grants on the library.
When we actually get into the DTR project, when we get that $450,000, every business owner that comes and gets a chunk of it, you'll do this every single time. We have to, so you get very familiar with it.
Remind us.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I'll make that.
We just call them DTR drawdowns, and they're just used to signing off on.
Yeah, the 10 was already approved for that match. This is just the invoices of that 10 that you approved.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
Okay. Bob,
Aye.
Julie,
Aye.
Pam, Tyler.
Aye.
Number 19, discussion concerns on a registered sex offender residing near schools. Is that Shelley? Is that you? I don't know who put it on there. I requested it.
I had a request from one of the neighbors, so I put it on there.
Is it across the street?
I have a ton of pictures, ton of videos. That gentleman is living there. I have 6 grandkids right next door. That's disgusting me. My grandkids were out taking clothes off the line the other day, and he was mowing the lawn, and every time, this is gonna be graphic, but every time he faced them, he grabbed his crotch. To me, I told the state patrolman I wanted to shoot him. It's to that point, you guys.
But, so you contacted the police then?
Yes, I have,
Okay.
on multiple times.
Okay, so they got the reports.
So has he been cited for prosecution?
Showing evidence of not going according to his rules of a sex offender.
And the state patrolman you contacted?
Excuse me?
State patrolman you contacted or local city?
I've talked to the city, I've talked to the county, I've talked to now the state patrolman, or state patrol office, and I'm gonna be real honest, guys. I want to go downstairs and load the gun. And I'm being honest, and it just is disgusting to me.
Courtney, is he still listed as a
Transient.
Transient,
Yeah, I did have an investigator from the state patrol did call me. I did provide him with what is in our code book as far as the sex offender registry, which is the state, what the state follows. So he's well aware what's in our code. So I mean, they're looking at it too. So, but I did talk to him, sent him our information as far as what's in our code book. So that was 3-4 weeks ago probably. So
How long ago?
3 weeks ago maybe.
So what's the answer?
You still have his
Just
contact
ignore him?
information?
Yeah, I have
You
his
can follow up with
information. I haven't heard back from him, so he just wanted a copy of what was in our code and I gave it to him.
This particular sex offender knows the rules. He knows how to get by with it. He's in 3 days and he's outside for 3 days. Meaning, he's visible. But I have sat out here and videoed him. He's there. I don't know who the owner of that house is, and I don't know who's renting it, to be sure. You know, I think it's a certain lady, but I don't know.
Have you turned the videos over to the place?
Yes, I have, yeah. County, I've seen it.
I don't know exactly where this is, but there's no question it's 500 feet, huh? With
Yes.
inside of 500 feet of the school.
That's right across the street.
I just thought it was
Unfortunately, I've learned you can be.
because of the transient rule. I mean, he is registered as a transient, so,
Prosecute him anyway.
You can't be a transient forever.
no, I'm not,
Well,
I don't know what the.
I'm not trying to stick
timeline
up,
is
I don't
there.
even know it. I'm just saying that,
Well, how about our definition that says to sleep, live, or dwell at a place which may include more than one location and may be mobile or transitory? Why don't we have a citation on the guy?
What did the state patrol say? Why can't they do anything?
he is. We're,
Okay, so it's just gonna be
We're-
Yeah, I just,
unfortunate.
did,
yeah.
Unfortunate.
maybe it's not, he was prosecuted before, right?
for Madison County.
For medicine.
Yep, he's been like.
And then
like
as soon as he got out, that's when he registered as a transient, right?
No, he was transient before here, but he was picked up on a Madison County warrant around Thanksgiving time for violation
So he was set and served his time and now he's.
in Madison County.
As a side thing, didn't we set up a subcommittee
Yes.
that include Tyler? Does he, because he lives in Spain, does he still get to stay on that committee? No.
I don't think so.
Committee dissolved. The committee dissolved.
The committee dissolved, did they do something?
They did?
I thought it was just set up a couple of months ago to
Didn't we just discuss some action items that we needed to?
We were supposed to order trail cameras.
And all that stuff.
I don't believe they were purchased. Do you know Pam?
I haven't got any bill or anything, so.
And Tyler was going to be doing that, but maybe we need to reconvene, so.
Mhm.
So I don't know if you guys want to redo a committee and continue working on this, I don't know.
What?
Didn't we talk about too that the legal technicalities of changing our law is, I mean, didn't we talk about that?
You did.
Yeah, but I don't see anything the matter with it. I just
Well, I
read
mean,
the definition.
other than that, yeah, no, it should be enforced. There's nobody here to explain why it wasn't enforced, so what are you gonna do?
Well, I have proven that it's hard for me to enforce ordinances without full activity by the police department. That we could, I can prosecute him, I don't have to have a citation if you wanna put some pressure on. Or I could call the state patrol and ask them what the devil they're doing.
Yeah. I think that'd be a good thing to do.
You recognize the state patrol and the county really does not, in fact, they will not enforce municipal ordinance. But the state law reads about the same, so they could enforce that if they would. I mean, it's a tough area to enforce, where someone can reside and so on. The next thing you'll know, you'll have the ALCU saying, we have constitutional rights.
I mean, that's what we talked about.
But if you're either gonna put up with this stuff or you're not.
Well, we have a licensed daycare down the street, you know, right down here.
When kids come to the library,
Mhm.
walking around the school.
Well, you wanna give me the names of these prosecutors or these
I will send you,
people you've
I'll
talked
email you
to?
his information.
I'll try and follow up with them.
Yep.
What's the pressure
I mean,
on?
it works so much better if you have an investigation by law enforcement and a citation to work with.
Number 20, discussion committee report on breed-specific dog bans.
At this point in time, we don't have a report yet. Pam and I are working on some ideas. And I personally wanted to contact some other cities and see what they get some better ideas. If anybody from the community wants to contact me or Pam and discuss it, you're more than welcome to. And it'll be brought up again at a future meeting.
Tyler, I did give you a few suggestions
Yes.
for some changes, and I was only meant to be suggestions.
Nope.
If you want to share them with all, you
I
can.
definitely will.
I don't care.
And I
Yeah.
just had a couple people
Okay.
say that they don't want any bands at all.
Yeah. I've had a couple of people contact me, so it's good. It's good.
The discussion is,
So if we could table it, Ryan, we'll bring it up again in the future.
sure. Would you like it on next month's agenda or just like a continue?
I guess you guys can just let me know.
Or just let her
Yeah,
know.
let's do that, because I got some other issues going on, but I'm not sure what to do.
Okay.
So, if we could, we'll bring it up though.
Okay. The man of the hour, number 21, discussion action hiring of city administrator. Thank you for the committees and the individuals that serve on the interview committees and all of the applicants. And hopefully with your approval, we will have Jeremy Tarr on board. So we will start the discussion on hiring, number 21.
Let me give you a quick thought on this contract. Have you seen the whole contract?
No,
No.
just what you talked
We looked
about.
at the contract just today, and I was in the same, just too much on the book thing to really do a good job and get it cleaned up and have a chance to talk to Jeremy and work out the details and the rough edges. What we kind of agreed, and I think Brian can tell you if he wants to nominate Jeremy based on this, is that
You want me to say the proposal or?
yeah, the basics of the contract with the salary, the health insurance, set the basic vacation terms. Did you give them the 2 pages?
Yep.
Yeah.
You have that much. The contract was 10 pages long.
Yeah.
It contains a lot of detail. Some of it seems to me to be a little out of balance, and it needs some attention. And I made some quick suggestions when we looked it over, but we just couldn't get there in an hour and a half today.
Yeah.
So if you want to get it to move, I think Jeremy's agreeable to start with the basics if you're agreeable to have it. And we'll work out these other details and talk through the finer points and come up with a full contract for next month.
Do you want me to say out loud, obviously, for the public? The starting salary would be $66,000, which is what Mr. Holton had when he left. And then every 3 months, we're going to review, and if everything is satisfactory, there will be a raise. And then by the 1st of October next year, which is the new fiscal year, then he would be in line with every other employee for the annual raise. And then we'd also start out, as soon as he starts on day 1 week of vacation on the books and 1 week of sick leave on the books. Is that
Yep, yeah.
basically what I said?
Yeah, that's what our personnel committee we talked about, we discussed last night, and we looked over it, and that's what we agreed upon, I guess.
And tentative starting date would be tomorrow, but obviously for the first few weeks via cell phone, email and stuff, because he's still in payroll until he finds a residence here.
Well, I'll be back and forth, off and on but we'll, we talked about it, we said definitely August 3rd to be full-time in the office all the time, but for right now, I'll be here some days, and some days obviously that's when everything's taken care of, so it'd be.
And who's doing the review every 3 months?
The personnel committee.
Okay.
The only thing I guess that I'd want to include in here is to make sure that you finish your degree.
Yep, that's fine.
To get that put in here to be done within a year. I know you only have a couple classes.
Yep.
I just,
Yep,
you know, I think
that's fair.
is best for you, you know,
Yep.
finish that up. But
And
yeah,
then, assuming we get this done, you'll have the full contract next month and probably also change the ordinance.
Right.
Back out of the cover it this way ordinance and put the regular city administrative provisions back in place.
So the first one would be number 21, discussion action hiring of city administrator.
Need a motion, right?
Yes, please.
I would like to make a motion to hire Jeremy Tarr as the city administrator for Plainview, Nebraska.
Okay, second.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Tyler?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Okay.
Yay, welcome, Jeremy.
We still got 2 more.
Oh, we're not done yet, never mind.
Welcome, but you don't get paid.
Number 22, discussion action wage, which starting tomorrow would be $66,000 a year with 1 week of vacation and 1 week of sick time. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, we said, yep, that's where we're gonna start at.
1 week of sick and 1 week of vacation, 66, I mean, you don't get the whole 66,000 tomorrow.
Oh, what the heck?
For a motion for that?
I'll make a motion for his starting salary to be 66,000
And 1 week of vacation and sick?
and 1 week of vacation.
That's it.
And-
Or starting to, yeah, yeah.
And starting to accrue
Right, right.
the sick.
But on the books right away, yeah. Okay, second?
Second,
Okay, Bob?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Tyler?
aye.
Julie?
Aye.
Okay.
Does he get full
Yeah.
family benefits?
Yes.
Or?
Yep.
Yep.
He gets all benefits that are offered to full-time city employees.
And then 23, we're gonna wait until next month just to get the clean copy, or for the approval of the contract, because obviously it's...
Yeah, we're just working on the somewhat informal version tonight, I think.
But it's in the minutes and it's on videos.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
a
that
concern of Jeremy's, that
that much is
he
official.
said, she said type of thing. Okay. Number 24, discussion budget for the fiscal year 2020, 2021.
I have kind of a rough copy done, but now that Jeremy's starting, then he can help me with that. But we'll have to start doing hearings next month, start going through the budget workshop process, because it'll have to be sent to the state by September 20th. You won't have full numbers till the end of August, because you don't get your numbers from the county until August 20th, so as much as we can have done before then, the better, and then you just gotta plug that number in and you're pretty much good to go. So we'll have to kind of look at dates, you know, if we can get it done in a couple budget workshops, great. You know, I didn't change a whole lot from last year. There's a couple things the guys want to budget in, but not a lot that we're looking at purchasing next year, so but just a heads up for you guys that that's, the next couple months will be budget that we'll be working on, so.
Hey, Courtney,
Yeah.
when are you gonna do evaluations?
I have done Melissa's. I know last year I said that, you know, I want a personnel committee to go
Yeah,
over
yeah.
evaluation,
Yeah.
so mine's done that I need to do. It'd just be the guys that need to get theirs done, and then the mayor would have to do the police department, so you can do Melissa's whenever you want. You know, go over what I gave her for an evaluation with the personnel committee, and then when the guys get done, we can go over that, but that way the recommendations for the raises kind of come from you guys as well, so.
Sounds good.
I'm good with whatever. I mean, if you guys want me to set a time for Melissa's, I can set one up, so.
Okay.
Number 25, discussion action approval of hiring hearing officer and court reporter for disciplinary hearing of Bruce Shields.
Now, let me butt in and clarify that a bit.
Okay?
I mean, we need to flip-flop the items with 28 and 25.
Okay.
You won't really understand the full circumstances and situation until you get to hear from these people from EMC. You know, as I've let you know over time, we've been in touch with them and kind of taking their instructions as to how they would like to proceed. And they are much more formality oriented than I would tend to be, but we have to indulge them in that if they're going to carry the ball. And separately, they want to talk to the council in executive session. So they have proposed to call in. Are you in the process of getting in touch, Courtney, or trying to?
Yeah.
And if they do this, they would like to call in. They had talked about doing a Zoom meeting thing and immediately going to executive session with the council. And they would attend simply by the Zoom and talk to you. And they will then essentially take over all of the legal guidance from here forward. I'm not going to pretend to set the rules and say how it's going to go if they're going to have to do it. So it'll be their call. And it also removes any question whether I've dealt with this in the past or what prejudices might be local, which some people would criticize. So be it. I'm all for that.
Do you want to do that now and then reconvene and open for your council and attorney comments in there?
Well, I will have nothing else for city attorney comments, and I don't know if the council has other comments, you can bump past those and have done with them.
Do you have any comments?
Please.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
Yep, I'd like to thank Kurt, Susan, Courtney, and all the city employees for getting the volleyball courts done. I don't know if people know, but that was a self-funding grant. And the city of Plainview was up for what, 22,000 something, Courtney?
No longer 22.5. Yeah.
Self-funding, so we have to get it done, and we get it done and show that we've got it done, we get the money. And it's been ongoing for what, at least 2 years, Susan? Because we ran into the floods, we ran into COVID, and there was a lot of misunderstanding about who should do what and when.
Between the park board and.
They got it done, so they salvaged, what was it, 18,000 some dollars in that grant. So that's what they say, the city will get that.
I think it's like 18.5.
Yeah,
That's
so
what we're
that's what you guys saved the city of Plainview, so I think that's awesome. And then the work on the Boy Scout house, and I noticed the door was painted, so I appreciate all your work.
Working on it.
One note on the Boy Scout house, though, Kurt. You think we could put siding on that? Because that siding is shot.
On the back is terrible.
It's shot.
I guess you got 18.5, now you can spend wherever you want.
Well, I think we still have the 1,500, is that correct?
Well, we had Dave Hamilton agreeing to
Yeah, we've got,
pony up some leftover metal.
he's got metal
I don't know what it is, but I mean, if we
It's-
could,
there's a lot
the
of.
problem is paint on that siding is a 2-year deal. It's gonna go to trash again, and it's getting rotten.
If you look to the north side of the siding, it's
The north side's really terrible.
And it really dressed up, it just dressed up.
but I mean, it looks great the way it is. I mean, it looks way
I mean, it
better than it
looks-
would be.
Presentable,
I
but
appreciate your work, yeah. But I think that, my opinion is we should put siding on something. I can talk to Dave, if you want to do metal, if you
yeah,
guys don't want to do
I
metal.
priced some masonite over there at Osmond. But you don't wanna do that. You wanna put vinyl or something on it.
Well, if we got metal from Dave, it'd be free.
Right.
Free metal's hard to beat, otherwise
Right.
Hudson also has some concrete stuff that's pretty good, but it's expensive and
You know, and
you
if,
just can't beat free metal.
if we got money, so we could hire somebody to do it.
Yeah, vinyl's cheap and
Yeah,
easy to put on, so.
whatever you think, but you know, yeah. I mean, I just would prefer to do something different. But I do appreciate the work you've done.
I have a question on the community building, the one that we vacated to come here for meetings. Did you ever figure out the water didn't stop?
I checked it today and it was fine.
So we think we maybe figured out, we had Mark Rip come out and Kurt met me there, it's been about 4 or 5 months ago, and Mark had a couple suggestions that didn't really cost anything, and
Not really, I mean, we've
Think
got
it's
a little,
maybe fixed.
I wanna put a little more of a drain on the backside so we can get the water to the alley, but that's, I think I've got parts and pieces bought already for that, so.
so maybe now we can think about paint something for that building.
Yeah.
One of the things that came out of that DTR plan, people were asking for a crafted under market, someplace you can buy unique gifts in town that doesn't really exist. Courtney and I kind of talked a little bit about maybe putting it in there, give it a little bit of life, do something with it for the cost of paint, and see what happens. Since the water issue, maybe in the floor, obviously, because it's buckled with water. But kind of, maybe
Yeah, that tile's gotta come up.
yeah, flooring and paint, maybe we can do something there. Maybe some bids. You guys open to getting bids?
Are there any updates on the house behind me? How we doing?
On Haynes, yeah.
What's that on?
Hanks' house.
I, talked to Ward and he was supposed to give me an estimate on it, so.
We're kind of on the contractor's timeline now, so, but
That's a good thing.
But it is July,
You're doing
so
a lot
it is-
of work, so
yeah.
it would be very feasible to pay somebody to take care of that mess.
Since it is July, it is in our possession.
What we do is have them tear it down and dump it into our trailers and we'd have to take it, but 'cause it's got asbestos, it's gotta go to Jackson.
Yeah.
Bruce, they're on, so.
Okay. Okay.
Make a motion to go into executive session.
Would you like to?
They're on and available. I mean, I think we could, some other question, what?
Just a quick question. I brought it up with Bob before. All the grass, when people mow into the street, it's plugging up. And it's not Kurt's problem. I mean, guys,
up all the drain.
yes. Blow your grass back up or bag it or something, because I see this down here and the drain's completely covered with grass, limbs, shingles off people's houses. That's money we're throwing away, by having problems with our sewer.
And the sad problem is every town is not just Plainview.
What?
The sad problem is every town is not just Plainview.
But I live here.
No, I
and this is
understand.
my tax dollars
No,
right
I'm
here.
just saying that,
Just a general reminder,
Like
when you
Corinne
mow,
was
blow your
saying
grass
earlier
back
about-
into your lawn.
Yeah.
I mean, that's education.
education, yes.
Do you need to put a thing in the paper?
You sure can.
Thanks, Gordon. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we have a motion to move an executive.
If you're going to make a motion, you have to get a bit more formal.
Right.
To keep everything clean. A motion to go into executive session to discuss litigation strategy, possible negotiations, a personnel matter, and protect the reputation of an individual.
And the question I was going to,
That was your motion, right?
That is my motion. I'm concerned with the conflict of interest.
Well, we'll deal with that.
Okay.
We'll deal with it in executive
Okay,
session.
the question I
that is my
had,
motion.
Can you repeat that? Sorry. I'm sorry, I was writing something else down about blowing grass back into your road.
Go into executive session for litigation strategy, possible negotiations, to protect the reputation of an individual, and a personnel matter. Really, arguably a four-part thing, but all of those are justifications for an executive session.
the question I had before I asked for a second is if we can invite Jeremy to
At
stay.
this point, I think we're
I think we're paying them to find out. Be on their phone right now.
Okay, second. Bob? Julie?
Aye.
Tyler? Okay. Thanks for coming. 3-1. Thanks for coming, everyone.